Come along, children. Now we're going to have a little music.
Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to First Cut. This is our spoiler review of Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. I'm so excited to talk about this movie. You just checked it out on Netflix, and now you're going to talk about the spoiler stuff with us. I'm here with RB3 in the house. He reviewed the first movie with Sabrina. We're here to break down the spoilery segments of this film. RB3, this is a movie we've been anticipating since day one. We loved the first Knives Out movie. We thought it was definitely one of the best movies of the year. I thought it should have been even nominated for a potential Best Picture. I thought it was that good. And now Glass Onion is coming back with a comeback. Rian Johnson is full swinging with Benoit Blanc and with these new cast characters that are in this movie. How did you feel about this movie as a follow-up to the first Knives Out?
Man, I love this movie. I thought it was really funny. I thought it was just overall just a great time, joyous time. And I thought the mystery, it was almost like a double murder this time. You know, it was like we had to solve who was actually committing the murder for Dave Bautista, and then who actually did the murder for Janelle Monáe's character, or her twin of her character. So it was really dope, really involving. And you know, I thought I saw all the whodunit stories I could have seen, but they actually surprised me with this one. So
how did you feel this cast compared to the first cast? Do you feel like it was different enough from the first cast? Do you feel like this one stood out a little bit more?
Yeah, I think this one's a lot different. I think the first one was definitely trying to go for more of like a timeless, more like it could almost fit in almost any time period kind of situation and work. Besides, you know, they had some obvious political commentary in the first one too. This second one had the political commentary and the fact that it was set during COVID times and set during, you know, the mass situation, but also it the characters are very much 2022, are very 2020 as well. Like the right-wing Twitch streamer is very current and modern. The celebrity who's always getting canceled for saying dumb stuff is very current. The eccentric billionaire who rips people off. These all feel like very modern archetypes. Whereas I feel like the first Knives Out was very much an homage to classic murder mystery families. This one was very specific to today's generation.
I feel like someone said it before I did, I think, but it's definitely like the first one is old money. This one is new money, where it's more about like the fast money, quick trends, get rich quick kind of stuff, like tech bros, where they just kind of pitch ideas and then get in a bunch of investors and then rip people off. I feel like this is what that movie is representing. It's interesting because the first film is an indictment on capitalism and on the ultra wealthy and on old money and passing down this generational wealth to their children. And this one is another, I think it's even more of an indictment on rich people and on the way they're able to step on everyone no matter what area they're in. You know, think about Kate Hudson's character being into fast fashion, right? That's her kind of thing. And she's able to step on people with that. The fake political, played by Catherine Hahn, where she's pitching all this political campaigns, but still seeking money from awful people and from awful companies. The scientist who kind of ignores certain aspects of science in order to get rich from other companies. All this stuff. You already mentioned Bautista's character being the right-wing streamer. And then the IG model girl, I don't remember her name. Whiskey? Was it Whiskey?
Whiskey, yeah.
You know, being an IG model, whatever. But either way, it's kind of this mentality of like, get rich quick, step on as many people as possible, meet as many rich people as you can, get their money, and then just ignore whatever morals or values or any kind of, you know, righteous endeavors that you have because of that wealth. And I feel like this is represented so well in this movie. It's insane. What do you think of Daniel Craig doing a lot? I feel like a lot more in this movie as Benoit Blanc.
Yeah, Daniel Craig, man, he was really funny. He was back at it. I feel like they made him a lot more eccentric in this movie. Yes. Like the first movie, he was much more tidy up, buttoned down kind of situation. But here he's wearing like those the board shorts, and he's, you know, and the thigh highs, and he's just going crazy with, you know. And I thought it was very funny. They definitely leaned into, I don't know if he's like actually gay or not, but I guess he is, like the way they're applying it with Colin Grant or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Hugh Grant, I should say. But yeah, I thought I thought he was great on that level, and I thought his mystery solving though was next level, because I had no idea where. I mean, obviously, we know he had help from Janelle Monáe's character like halfway through, with that gets revealed to us. But yeah, I had no idea how he was how he landed on, especially that first mystery with the Gillian that was written by Gillian Flynn, like the Gone Girl writer. That was with the night, like, you know, shooting the thing. How'd you solve that so quickly? How did that even work? So yeah, I thought that was great. I thought he was great.
Yeah, he's definitely. I feel like the entire film, if we're being honest, is slightly more eccentric in general, slightly
Yeah,
more elevated, slightly more silly, slightly
bigger
more
budget.
comedic, bigger budget as well. And I feel like that is felt throughout the movie, with these characters being a little bit more elevated in their nature, being a little bit more bombastic. So I thought like that was an interesting way to go as well. But this entire movie to me is this kind of tearing apart and breaking down of the BS of the ultra rich people and of the quick rich people and of all the people who want as much money as possible. And it's Benoit Blanc kind of breaking down exactly why all these people are full of crap and how they're all pouring into a system that steps on anyone on the bottom and tries to beg and plead, and literally this movie says suck the tit of anyone who has a lot of money. And I feel like that is essentially what is at the core of this movie, and it does so in a very comedic way, and I love that. So I thought it was a really really refreshing, modern, brave, if I can say brave. I think Ryan is brave for doing this movie because he's tapping into a lot of like delicate subjects, but he's doing it in a very clever, funny way, satirical way that people probably won't be too mad about. So I feel like that is what really stands out in the movie. Besides that, when it comes to the cast and characters of this film, who do you feel is the biggest standout in this huge cast?
Well, I mentioned in a non-spoiler review that Dave Bautista, he's definitely made the best wrestler to actor transition of all time, easily.
More than The Rock?
Oh man, come on. He's a much better actor than The Rock. I mean, there's no question. And I love The Rock, but I think he especially in this movie, he definitely showed a range. I think the scene where he was dying was hilarious. But I do also just want to shout out Leslie Odom Jr.'s character as the chemist. I forget his exact name too, but he had some of the funniest lines, I feel like, just some of the funniest moments throughout, like just quietly funny, like his looks when he would when Janelle Monáe's character was like knocking over the glass at the very end, knocking over those glass pieces. I thought that his cutaways were just funny. Yeah, he just had a lot of quietly funny moments. I do want to shout out my man Miles Braun, aka Edward Norton, for wearing in those flashback sequences. I don't know if you peeped, he was wearing the same exact outfit as Tom Cruise was wearing in Magnolia. You know, the character he was playing with that slick button down womanizer character. That's the exact outfit and the exact hairstyle that Tom Cruise had and Magnolia. And I love that they played into that for Miles Brown's characters in the flashback.
It's crazy how relevant this movie is. I think that was the biggest standout for me, especially watching this movie in theater when it came out on Thanksgiving Day and realizing, wait a minute, Miles Braun is sounding really familiar right now while I'm on Twitter from someone who's on Twitter.
Yeah.
It definitely felt like this is definitely what it was when it comes to that kind of bullshit billionaire. There, I said it. I've been saying BS this whole episode. Now I said it.
Nah, go for it.
But when it comes to that kind of bullshit billionaire mentality of like, hey guys, look at me, look how cool I am, look how smart I am I not cool, am I not smart, don't you think I'm cool? Like, it's this constant want to be celebrated and constant want to be worshipped and appreciated and liked and felt like you're cool and you're different. He has all this artistic stuff and paintings and cars that he puts on pedestals just so he looks rich, just so he can appear to be more than what he actually is. And when it comes to his intelligence, the way the film breaks it down from Benoit Blanc's perspective, knowing that Janelle Monáe's character, the original character she is, I forget her name already. Is it Andy? I feel like it's Andy. When it comes to Andy's character being the actual brains of the operation and him just kind of being this eccentric, goofy guy who just wants to get rich, And that's the reality of most billionaires, at least most modern billionaires, when it comes to their intelligence is really overblown and overseen. And it's in reality, they're not as smart and not as cool as a lot of people think they are. How'd you feel about the relevancy of the Miles Brown character?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, like you said, it was like spot on the money. It's like is exactly like Elon. It's exactly like, another Richard Bronson, or not Richard. I guess nobody in the movie is Richard. Richard Bronson, another Brown, I should say. That other idiot who like put on the cowboy hat and went to space with Bezos or whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of just a lot of goofies out there.
A lot of examples. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's countless, and I think, the funny part is the transparency about social media gives us a more of a look at those people. And I think that's also one of the things that they touched on too, is like the transparency that social media, especially during the pandemic, gave a lot of people. And it's particularly with Kate Hudson's character. I know one of the Easter eggs that Sabrina picked up on that I didn't pick up on was about how they're alluding to her wearing the see-through mask that Lana Del Rey was wearing during the pandemic, but also just the idea, she says multiple times, like, well, I don't know her exact quote, but she basically alludes to the fact that multiple times she calls herself a truth teller. She thinks she's just calling it like it is. And that's, you talk to so many people in this industry who think they are, like you said, smarter than everybody else, better than everybody else. For some reason, their opinion matters more than the next person. And I think that playing into that was just such a really, really funny thing. But I do want to ask you though, you never gave who was your favorite character or standout character?
I think it's definitely Janelle Monáe's character. I feel like the way she's able to play between two different characters and show, what's great about these movies, man? It's the stereotypicalness of each character and the way they tap into that stereotype that they're playing, whether it's the corrupt politician, the goofy fast fashion girl, the right-wing streamer, the eccentric billionaire. And then Janelle Monáe is also playing a stereotype, but she does it in a very natural, beautiful way, where it's the Alabama school teacher. And the way that Benoit Blanc feels for the lower class people who are giving back to the community, like a teacher, like a nurse, like these kind of professions that people kind of ignore, whether it's a construction worker, a contractor. In the first film, it was a nursery worker with Marta playing that immigrant nurse, at-home nurse worker. Those kind of characters, those kind of professions, and those kind of people who make up America and who make up the world. And that's what Benoit Blanc caters to. And that's what he feels in his heart that he should get close to, and not the ultra rich and not these people who want to step on you, but want to appear to be moralistic and of high values, like Catherine Hahn's character, where I feel like she just tapped into that genuine passion filled with emotion, filled with anger and righteous anger, like all that kind of stuff. I feel like Janelle Monáe was definitely the biggest standout for me.
Yeah, no, she was definitely great, and I know she was in the awards conversation for a cool minute for Best Supporting Actress. I don't know if I know that category got a little bit stacked up lately, but I think she was really, really good, especially playing those dual roles. And I think having somebody who, especially a Black woman who we seen countless times in real life and real history being screwed over in society, having that be the forefront of this film and her having the literal key to potentially end Miles Brown's empire, and by ending him was essentially ending all of his friends. That's why they're all concerned, especially that's why they all gave, even though they had no implications in the murder, when they all looked at her when she came up on the ship and all had that like kind of like, oh, what's she doing here? They knew that like if Miles's money pool runs out, their money pool is running out, so they gotta stay close to him. They gotta stand by their boy.
Yeah, they got to play the game. And I really like what you said about Kate Hudson's character playing that character where she says she's speaking the truth. And I love Benoit Blanc's bar when she says that, where he says it's a dangerous thing to mistake speaking without thought to speaking the truth. And I was like, yo, in the theater, it was like, yeah. The whole theater shook. Like Way of Water style. Because it was such a bar. It was such a bar.
That was the part, and then she was like, "Oh, are you calling me dangerous?"
Oh
Like,
yeah,
yo,
she took it as a compliment.
No, you're just stupid. You're stupid. That's what you are. But
But
that was a bar though. That was a straight bar.
but it really did feel like there's so much social commentary in this movie. This is what I wrote in my review at Geeks of Color. You could check it out. Where I said that there's so many layers, like an onion. Get it? Glass onion. Layers to the social commentary in this film, where it does talk about those celebrities who think they're speaking the truth and better than everyone else. It does comment on fast fashion and the corruption of fast fashion and the ignorance of fast fashion. It talks about the eccentric billionaire who thinks he's smarter than everyone else and wants to be worshipped, aka who we see right now on Twitter with Elon. And it does talk about streamers and all this kind of stuff that is so modern and is so now and relevant. And it breaks it all down Benoit Blanc style with a Southern Kentucky accent, being like, actually, I'm smarter than everyone else. And I have the stereotypical Kentucky accent, and I can school each and every one of you. And it comes from that stereotype of white, impoverished, poorly educated Kentucky. The state of Kentucky is known for that, right? This is what it is, for better, for worse. And the way he's able to take that stereotype, just like with Janelle Monáe's stereotype and just like with the billionaire stereotype, and elevate it and be like, actually, he's the smartest. And he takes all these rich, bullshitters down one by one throughout the entire film. And I was like, yo, that's epic. It's epic what he does.
I do love the way that Rian Johnson is such a good writer. The way he portrays the bullshitters with the words, right? Like how Ed Norton's character is literally making up words.
Yeah, where it's like, you said nothing, bro. You literally said nothing.
Right. And you stole Benoit Blanc's murder from him. Like you can't even write your own good murder case. You have to steal it from the guy who gave it to you. Everything that you're saying, especially with the social commentary, I think one piece of like really modern relevant social commentary that they really touch on really is I know we gotta wrap up soon, but it's the whole hydrogen fake solution thing that they get to, right? I love how if you keep up with like modern science, you keep up with anything, every single week there's some miracle cure. Like we're going to solve climate change with this hydrogen creation, or we're going to solve it with this new wind turbine. And it's like every week we hear something new, and every week one of those things ends up falling apart or failing or being disastrous. And it's like, that's something that they tap onto here. Like she says, Janelle Monáe's character Annie says, no, I'm not going to invest in this because this isn't a good investment. It's just some weird Swedish scientists who's pitching this. Doesn't make any sense. And of course, that's ultimately what leads to this beautiful glass onion experiment blowing up to begin with. So I thought that was just I thought they did a really good job of introducing that information too, because they're introducing a lot in the very beginning, but they wait until the middle to start telling you what this hydrogen stuff is. So then you're not overloaded in the beginning with a bunch of stuff, and you still have more questions being raised as you continue to go along in the story. So again, another brilliant writing job from Rian Johnson.
Yeah, and it really is a breakdown of the theatrics of what it is to be a billionaire, right? Where I wrote in my review that, when Bane said theatricality and deception, he was talking about Braun's character, where it really is theatricality and deception. When Benoit Blanc is pointing out every story that he's told in the movie, where he's like, think about everything he's told you so far, it's all BS, where it's like, oh, he gave me his glass, and it's like, no, he didn't. You just told us that, but it doesn't mean it's true. It's this kind of idea of making up your own truths, and the theatricality of it, where you're big and bombastic and rich, and you can deceive people a lot easier with that theatrics. And the way I said, it's like the moment of the Great and Powerful Oz, or the Wizard of Oz, where the man behind the curtain, that's literally what it is, right? Where when you see the man behind the curtain, it's a lot less powerful, and you realize that these current ultra billionaires are writing some bullshit, and they've been writing that BS since day one, and we shouldn't look up to them and worship them and consider them to be greater than us. We should truly question them and truly break it down and realize what it is to have this wealth. It has to come usually from a place of corruption. So I feel like the film is brilliant, and it hits on so many of those aspects, and I absolutely love it because of that. RB3. Any closing thoughts?
RIP Mona Lisa. RIP to the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, that was one thing. At first, I was definitely kind of, I felt some type of way. I was like, I like art, bro. I like art. But at the same time, it definitely felt like this amalgamation of everything coming together, where the idea of worshiping a piece of art more than a human life, or more than human lives all around the world, and considering that to be a greater weight than the population of, an entire nation. I felt like that was definitely a relevant aspect as well. But either way, guys, those were our thoughts on Knives Out. Glass Onion and Knives Out mystery. Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. What did you guys think about the social commentary in this movie? Let us know what is a moment of social commentary that maybe we missed, or maybe they hit on in the film that we forgot to mention. Let us know down in the comments down below. But either way, you could follow us at First Cut right here. Subscribe to the channel at First Cut TMO as well. You can follow RB3 at Director RB3. Follow me at Squad Leader Ace as well. But either way, guys, for the First Cut crew, we're going to be peacing out. So peace. Deuces.
It's either me or you. Take you out the equation. It's either me or you. You do the math. Only